education you need to pursue your specific career?
Okay, so there's two ways you can go about working at the sheriff's office. You can work in the detention center as a detention deputy or a detention specialist. Requirements, GED, high school diploma, and be 18 years of age. If you go into there, starting pay is $23 an hour plus benefits. To be a road patrol officer out doing what I do or the other cops you see driving around, you have to be 21 years of age and you need to have gone at the same thing and then go to a post academy, which is 4.5, 5 months long. And then once you graduate from there, you become a full-fledged police officer. Starting pay for them, 25, I think, an hour, 24, 25, somewhere in there, plus benefits. So.
Education required to be in the automotive service field if you're going to be a mechanic. Obviously, a post-secondary, like a technical institute, is preferred. However, I mean, we have taken young people right out of high school that have an automotive education. So there isn't really anything past knowing something about an automobile that would inhibit you from being in that service field. There are paths that obviously can get you at a higher entry level when you come into the automotive service field. Our starting technician pay for people like entry level from high school that's in the quick lane would be $12 to $14 an hour. If you are looking to make post-secondary education and you have a little more aptitude, you're looking to be a line technician is what we call them. They work on a system called flat rate, okay? Quickly, flat rate is basically there's a time that it says the job can be done in. If a clutch in a 2007 Ford pickup out of the labor rate manual guide pays 7.5 hours to do, you're going to get paid 7.5 hours. If it takes you 10 hours to get it done, you're going to get paid 7.5 hours. If it takes you 3 hours to get done, you're going to get paid 7.5 hours, okay? So that's what flat rate is. Our flat rate line technicians start somewhere around 27 to 28 an hour. That's entry level. I've seen technicians all the way to $37, $38 an hour at flat rate.
With my position in airport operations, you only need a high school education. However, once you get into the airport industry, they start providing tons of classes for you and different skill sets. Kind of like I mentioned, the ASOS or the airfield lighting or the firefighting. So that's the nice part about my job, is the fact you can just hop right in and they start taking care of you and giving you the proper tools and the things you actually need to know. And there's a lot of different positions in the airport industry, like mine's airport operations. Airport ops starts at 19 an hour, give or take. It all depends on the county, it all depends on the airport and the politics. But you can move yourself up to an airport director, and from there you're making $100,000 a year, depending again on the airport. However, to be an airport director, you will need a bachelor's degree in aviation business or aviation management. So that's my next goal, guys.
So to be an engineer, more or less in any industry, you're going to need a bachelor's of science, which is a 4-year degree from an accredited school. Make sure that the college that you're picking is ABET accredited or accredited according to whatever industry you're looking to go into. As far as skill sets, though, I think engineering is such a broad deal. If you like solving problems, you can find an engineering discipline that'll fit what they'll fit what you want to do. So you can be a computer programmer, you can do. I'm a process engineer, which is I'm mechanical by discipline, but almost more training in chemical engineering or chemistry type stuff. But yeah, so engineering coming out as a mechanical engineer, I think from A&M, they were telling us that the average starting pay is going to be in the 65 a year range starting out. Going into oil and gas, that jumps. I think first year engineers with Williams are in the 80 to 85, maybe a little more, somewhere in that range. It really depends on the industry you're going into, what the demand is, and the skills that you're bringing to the table. Your GPA will make a difference in college. The college that you graduate from will make some difference in getting the opportunities. But then at Williams, we've also got, You know, we hire attorneys, accountants, business people, anything you can imagine. And then on down, we also, you know, we have positions that are open for, that would require maybe just a high school diploma or GED, working the plant, you know, work maintenance or as a mechanic or as electrician and such. A lot of those, the trade schools are great. Welding, you can do real well as a welder in the industry. So a lot of different ways you can go. But yeah, for engineering specifically, you'll need a 4-year degree. And then if you want to be like go back to school and teach as a professor or something, you're going to need a master's and probably a PhD. Or if you want to be research and development, sometimes a master's and PhD will be required. But a lot of the engineering positions out there, that 4-year degree is going to be really all you need.
So for teacher education, you need a Bachelor's of Arts in Education. At CMC, we are an open enrollment institution, so anyone who wants to take college classes with us are welcome. Our doors are open. I don't know if you know this, but CMC, we actually have 11 campuses, and so I know Rifle is closest, but our education program is on the Steamboat campus, the Glenwood Springs campus, Edwards, Breckenridge, Leadville, Spring Valley is a residential hall. I met these two very articulate young men earlier today at the expo, and one of them, you're both sitting here in the front, can you wave? Okay, great, because their question to me was, well, why should I go to CMC instead of CMU? And of course I had a really good answer for them, but one of the biggest ones is CMC has tremendous financial aid opportunities. We have a foundation that's dedicated to raising funds to support our students. Our Bachelor of Education is one of our disciplines that's highly supported by our institution. So if you would like to be a teacher, you should email or call me, or maybe your generation text me. I'm not on Snapchat, sorry.
Okay, for architecture, you need a Bachelor of Science in Architecture. It's about a 5-year degree. And then again, you have a 3-year internship. So right out of college, you start between 45 and 60, depending on where you are in the country. And then after that, just the sky's the limit, depending on how much work you want to do. One thing I want to say is if you want to be your own boss and go out on your own, make sure that you at least get a minor in business administration, or you can double major so that when you get your license, you can be an independent business person.
All right, can you guys join me with a big round of applause for our careers? All right, so to finish up, we're going to open the floor for questions. So if you guys have any questions, this is the time to ask.
So for architecture, you said to become an independent business person. How many years in college do you use that?
Well, if you can do it and take the credits, you can get your Bachelor of Architecture in about 5 years. And you can also get a minor in business administration. I got a minor. I would recommend getting a major. When I went out on my own, it was a lot of stuff I just didn't know. I kind of tried to cut my teeth on it. So double major is probably the way you want to go if you want to own your own firm. That would be your license.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So for teaching, what is the number one most recommended first step you take to become a teacher or even introduce ourselves to the field?
We have education classes in our first year at CMC. One called Introduction to Education. And that has field hours. Introduction to Education has field hours attached to it, which means that you're actually going into one of our partnering school districts and working with kids right from the get-go. So honestly, you'll know if you like kids right in year one at CMC, instead of waiting until the last year when you student teach and you're like, well, I like them in theory, but not in practice. And so that's what I would recommend is maybe, and what you can do too, are you a junior or senior? Okay, so you could also maybe volunteer time in one of the younger grade schools here. We have 2 really amazing mentor teachers at B. Underwood that I could put you in touch with if you wanted to chat with them about teaching as well.
Are you loud enough without the mic? Can you repeat that again?
I got a minor, so it wasn't more expensive. I don't know what it's like in a major, and it was a long time ago, so.
I just graduated in 2015, so I'm not far out of this school, but it really depends on the college you go to. A lot of them are going to charge you by the credit hour. Like Texas A&M, where I went, once you get 12 credit hours, I think they charge you a flat fee, so the idea is those students need to get through. So in that case, it really just comes down to taking courses.